forms of Greek literature and so on? Because obviously, with your background, you've had experience in both of those, I'm sure.
And what is so interesting about ancient literature, I think, is that we've always reused these stories throughout the medieval period and Renaissance and now in modern times. So first of all, I would say that every single period has its very unique way of dealing with this ancient literature and ancient stories. That is just the first thing that I want to say. I don't think we should neglect one or the other in that sense, although I do understand the criticism on the more modern way of using it in things like self-help and etc. And I would definitely agree with some of those. Other than that, I think that in modern ways, the ancient literature can, first of all, be empowering. And on the other hand, it can be perhaps a bit reductive. So what I mean is, on the one hand, the way that we sometimes use these ancient stories, and especially mythology, but because mythology and literature are so connected in the ancient world, right? On the one hand, I think it can be empowering. I am specifically thinking about those kinds of myths where, for example, they can be empowering to the queer community, LGBT community. It's about gender bending creatures, etc. We see feminist perspectives in retellings. We see this as well. And on the other hand, I think some reusing of ancient literature can be reductive in the sense that we have this very specific view on ancient literature. And a lot of the time it can be like, it's boring, or we have a lot of flat characters. And I don't think that is true either. I don't think, and this is also especially coming from when I look at the characterization at the characters in ancient literature, they can be so well-rounded that if you really look at them more deeply, they are just so much more than what we would give them credit for. I have worked on the prophetess, the Sibyl in the Aeneid, halfway the Aeneid, and usually she is seen as this guide to the hero Aeneas to bring him to the underworld and to guide him, bring him there safely, get him back out. And looking at the way she is described and more through close reading, you see so many aspects of this female character that otherwise you would completely lose. So that is something that I would say, is that the characters can be way more complex and the stories can be way more complex than we sometimes give them credit